Hello and welcome to Context Needed. This is the second episode, and I've just realised we are, as usual, very unprofessional because a clock was over Ollie's face. Although we do have a nice
clock face.
we do have a nice new overlay courtesy of Ollie. We also have a new email which we'll talk about near the end. But I'm Kyle as usual. We're with Ryan and Ollie. Do you want to say hello, guys?
Hello.
Hello.
So Ollie messaged us literally last night, and said he wanted to open the stream and podcast with a story about Jim. Do you want to go with that one?
This morning, yeah. Okay, I will preface this by saying Jim isn't this guy's name. It's about a guy I worked with a few years ago, and funnily enough, I do work with a guy who is actually called Jim. So, Jim, if you're watching this, I'm not talking about you, but you'll know exactly who I am. So, I can't remember exactly when it was, but I would say probably about 2 or 3 years ago. We really needed another fabricator, and we kind of put the feelers out for a new guy. And this guy stepped up. We'll call Jim. Now, Jim spoke with the worst, clearly fake American accent.
Oh, God.
Now, as it happened, he said that he had a degree in aerospace engineering, which, if it's true, I'm never going on a plane again, just for the fact that he may have touched a plane, and I don't want to go anywhere near any machine that guy has touched.
Why is this bolt rattling?
Yeah.
Is it meant to be spoke there?
Backwards. So Jim came to us, and the first thing that became abundantly obvious was that he was cripplingly incompetent at his job. He just couldn't do the job at all. I was an apprentice of only about a year or two at the time, so I wasn't exactly I wasn't hot shit at my job or anything. But we gave him a job, and it was something just like we had to make a little square plate with a hole in it, and then just like make the one edge rather than like a square, like a semicircle. Mega basic job. Any basic person in this job should be able to do that. And he managed to drill the hole about 10 mil out of place. And when we kind of took it to him and said, what happened here? He said, oh, well, that's just how pillar drills work. And it's like, no, that's not what they do. They drill a hole where you push them down and the drill goes. That's how they work.
I may not be a metal fabricator, but I know that they can be straight.
Yeah. So that was our first red flag. The second red flag, he had this welding mask, and it's called a 3M speed glass. Now, this is a £450 welding mask. They are, up until maybe a year ago, they were unsurpassed in quality. They are just the holy grail of welding masks. And what's good about them is they have a nice big window for looking through at the front, but then they also have like windows at the side, like a nice panoramic view. So they've got great light, great view, everything. And Jim had painted over his with what looked like just maybe model paint. I don't really know. Oh, knows. It's not like he'd done a cool design. He just coloured it like block green, block red, block yellow. It looked like a kind of Harlequin, maybe kid's toy welding mask. It was the weirdest thing. So that was a bit weird. The second strange thing I saw of him was he had some Crocs in his work box. Now, I don't know about you guys, but the normal kind of safety footwear would be, steel toe cap boots. So why in his side box, the box literally just for taking when you go to work, he had Crocs? I really don't know.
Can I just like jump in here and just say that Crocs are actually one of the most versatile shoes on the market at the moment?
Ryan, choose your next words carefully.
You've got leisure mode. You slap that strap to the front and you're in leisure mode, so you can just slip them on, just scooch about the ass a bit. You flip those bad boys into the back. You're in sports mode and work mode. Those things ain't coming off for shit. You're just gone.
The only time I'll accept these are Crocs is if you're walking in like shallow waters on a beach, and you kind of want to wear footwear, but you don't mind. You want to feel the water. That is the one situation. And even then, you look like a bell end. But but it's tolerable. No, yeah, barefoot or buy some slippers.
I'm gonna have to agree
That's
to
actually
disagree.
what-
I just
Okay.
I can't get behind your guys'
Anyway.
points there.
Anyway, back to the story.
So get back to the story. So at this point, we thought it was pretty weird, and he kept making all these stupid mistakes and doing really dumb things, and it very quickly became clear this guy could not do his job. He didn't have the qualifications he said he did.
He's a fucking
And
idiot,
one day, basically, I went to a local motorbike dealer where a friend worked, and I was chatting to him, and for some reason he came up. He came up in conversation, and I said, "Oh yeah, we've got this new guy, Jim. He's really weird." And he said, "Jim." He said, "Like, does he look, brown hair about this high?" I was like, "Yeah." He's like, "He was in here the other day trying to get a job." And like, as soon as he started talking to me, he just started giving me his life story and telling me all this weird personal information about himself. And he's like, so that was, again, real weird. Oh, that's odd. He said, "Yeah, I actually know him, because when I'd asked Jim where he's from because of his fascinating Californian accent, he naturally said he was from California." And I will say, it wasn't a good Californian accent. It was like, "Hey guys, I'm from America."
Oh god.
That honestly, that level of not good American accent. So
Why would you
he
even
claims to be
say
from California. That's the thing. It turns out my friend at this motorbike dealer knew him because he was from the same area that he was, and it turned out Jim was from the most exotic area of California, of Newtown, Wales. So I vanished.
We've
apparently.
lost him.
Oh
keep going, it'll come back.
He's descended. He's truly hit that woke point.
I'm sorry, lads. I have been banished to the Shadow Realm. So I think I got it back. I think my phone locked. That was all. There we go. Okay, so at this point things started looking a bit weird for Jim. The Chronicle eyes didn't end there. There was another thing. I used to have my 1988 MR2, and he saw it. "Oh, it's a really cool car. I used to have one of those." Now, neither of you claim to be massive car enthusiasts at this point, correct?
No,
I like my cars, but I'm not on the level of like you or your brother or things like that. But I like them, but
Yeah.
I'm not on that level.
Okay.
I'm the same as
So-
Kyle, definitely.
Probably one of the most notable feature about the Toyota MR2, regardless of generation.
Isn't the first MR2 got that weird reverse axle that's just one that's put on backwards?
Even less than that, it's the same across all MR2s. What's like
Rear
a
engine.
notable feature of it?
Rear engine.
Exactly,
It's a car.
mid-engine.
Oh, mid-engine,
So-
sorry.
Jim, but yeah, so you guys knew that, and you wouldn't consider yourself car guys. Whereas this is a guy who claims to have owned this car. So I was like, "Oh yeah, talking about it." So he walked around to the front of the car and slapped the bonnet and said, "Show me the engine then." Now, all that you'd find under there, chaps, is the spare wheel, and someone that has owned this car would very much know that.
Jesus
So
Christ.
I was kind of like, the engine's not in there. And there was kind of this pause. It clicked, and it's like, "Oh, yeah, to the back, isn't it?" And it's just like, oh,
Just testing you. Just testing you. Just testing you.
exactly. So Jim was just this chronic liar. I remember another day he wanted to make a rest for his welding torch. The welding torch, it's just like, imagine a gun-shaped thing with a big kind of hose coming out the bottom. That's what it's like. And usually we'll just make a small hook about the size of an index finger on the edge of a bench, and you just flip it over. That's all you do. But Jim opted to instead grab a piece of about 1 foot stainless steel bar, about 1.5 inches thick. That's expensive stuff, like solid stainless steel.
Yeah, that's not
And
cheap.
he just welded that bad boy straight onto the edge of his bench to rest his in the middle of a walkway as well.
Why would you just do that?
Just grabbed some expensive stock and said, "Yeah, that's how I'm going to hang my torch up."
Not even like some scrap.
And that's all. No, just oh god. And I think he's still in the area. After about a week, we kind of went up to him and
What,
said,
California?
Yeah, he might. I thought he would have gone back to California.
Clearly, yeah. Apparently he did go missing. Apparently, there was this whole ordeal where like his family was looking for him because, like, without saying anything, and he just kind of came back.
Because his name's Danny now, and he lives in Germany.
Yes. The concerning thing
He's
is
from-
you weren't a million miles away from his actual name then. So it's just like,
Turns out he's actually
So-
from Los Angeles now, so. He's stuck in traffic
That's
somewhere.
That's it.
He's stuck in traffic in his front-engined MR2.
That's it.
He converted
that's
it.
the one that exists.
He moved the engine himself.
Yeah.
I mean, a front-engine MR2 is basically just an A86.
Yeah.
But so after about a week, we kind of went to him and said, "Look, dude, you can't do this job. Like, we're sorry, but if this isn't working, you can't do the work." Like, but they had to give his jobs that he'd fucked up to me, the apprentice, to fix. so we had to say goodbye to dear Jim.
Your work basically did the politically correct version of Bar Felicia?
Basically, yeah. We did see him. There's a burger place in town that Tom's
Please
quite
tell me he
fond
was
of.
working there.
He was
He
flipping
served
burgers
you.
at the burger place. He was indeed. And Tom even overheard him speaking. Strangely enough, his Californian accent had disappeared. And I think he still works there. I'm not sure because I don't go there myself. But,
I mean, I'm not
think he's
dissing
still
people.
working there.
I'm not dissing people that work flipping burgers or all that because I've been there. But when you sell yourself so high and you fuck up to that extent, thinking you're something you're not, you kind of deserve to go to that kind of place.
If that guy had a degree in aerospace engineering, like,
Mate,
I don't know.
His burger flips must be on point.
I was going to say, like, he's either the single most overqualified burger flipper, or the more obvious choice is he is talking total shit. But that is dearest Jim.
Jesus Christ!
But say, Kyle, I don't think it was much of a "Bye Felicia" moment. It was more of a "This bitch empty."
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah.
Just look in his head,
Yeah,
and
it
there's
was.
nothing in there, lads. There's really nothing.
Oh God!
He was swiftly ejected from the premises.
Funnily enough, like yeet kind of links into the kind of incident I wanted to talk about. So they didn't get yeeted, but they fucked up. So we have a nest of birds right outside my back door. We got a tree, literally like
you said yeeted.
Like on the
I'm
floor.
concerned where this is going. Birds and yeeted.
So just hear me out. So
Go with it.
literally like 4 to 5 feet away from the front door, there's a tree with a nest in. Now these birds are really fucking dumb because they have.
Do you know what birds they are?
They look like blackbirds. So in our garden we have our dog who likes to run around and chase things. In the neighbour's garden, they have a cat that is consistently chasing the birds, yet they built their nest right next to both of these creatures. So I'm upstairs today trying to rest because I'm feeling like utter shit, and then I just hear Becky, Kyle, you need to come down, I'm like, why, what's up? One of the birds fell out the nest and Lassie got it. So I just come out and see this baby bird, just in the middle of the garden, in a very, very compromised situation where the insides are no longer in.
Oh.
It's a common occurrence in my house.
Yeah, so I've had to go. Becky's like, oh, but the bird. And I literally went, that's called natural selection. That's normal. It fell out the fucking nest. Let's clean it up and get on with it. So I cleaned it up. Put it in the bin. It's gone. There's nothing we can do. Cleaned it up, put it in the bin, did what I could. But then later on here, another fucking one has fell out of the nest and landed on our side of the garden. And my dog is crying constantly, trying to get outside to get to this bloody bird. Becky's trying to get it to like get back up on the fence. It's grown enough to fly because it's fully formed. It's nearly turning fully black as well, so it's fully formed. It's probably got the ability to fly. It just won't fucking fly. It gets to the point where I'm inside. My dog's going crazy because we can't even let her in the garden because we know she'll go kill it again or kill another one. And then Becky, all of a sudden, she's at the back door with a phone, like. And this bird's just like jumped up onto our like sofa that we've got. This new sofa, just been built. It's looking nice, all in the back garden, so we can chill out there. She's just filming this bird climbing all over the sofa, saying it's so nice and cute. I'm like, fair enough. Go sit back down. About 5 minutes later, she runs back in, runs back out with a jug of water, comes back in. It just shat over the sofa.
That's nature, bitch.
So I just wanted to kind of, it's like, maybe that's karma for the death, but it's shat all over our sofa, basically.
This is for my brother, you bastards.
You'll disrespect my family. I shit on your sofa.
It was just like, come on, man.
Oh, damn it. Is it like an actual sofa, or is it like just like a wooden bench, or is it
It's like one of those.
sofa?
It's like one of those like wicker kind of sofa. It's like it's got a steel frame with the wicker all around it, kind of looking
I
thing.
see. Yeah. Oh, at least it kind of, when you hose it, it just kind of drips through.
Yeah. She
at
just
least.
rinsed it off and it was fine. Well, let's move on to what we want to do for the main subject matter today. So obviously, I just recently finally finished Mandalorian. That's why I was late to talk to you guys, which was fucking awesome. But especially with everyone being trapped at home, most people anyway being trapped at home, we thought we'd talk about streaming services, how good they are, how helpful they are, what shows we like from them, and we might as well save Mandalorian until we've at least talked a bit about the services, because otherwise we'll just only talk about Mandalorian.
Yeah.
So I mean, I don't know if you want to
to
start us off, Ryan, seeing as we've both had a story. Thought might well lead off to you.
Wait, what? God, no, here we go.
On the spot now.
I don't know how to start now with Mandalorian, other than it's just fucking awesome. I mean,
It is
like,
a very good
I
show.
must admit, I'd lost a lot of hope. Like, my Star Wars kind of, as a kid, Star Wars was my thing. Like, I was like space, lasers, and like there's a bunch of kids that are like, what about Lord of the Rings? I'm like, nah, it's not my deal. Star Wars is mine. And then like not to the end of my secondary school life, and I was like, somebody said, watch Lord of the Rings. I watched Lord of the Rings. I'm like, no, this is the shit. This is better than any of these, like Star Wars. So watched all the Star Wars. Obviously, for me, it was more the prequels that I'd watched. I'd watched them when I was younger anyway.
Yeah.
I went to the cinemas far too many times to watch the prequels. It's ridiculous how many times I went.
We were all kids when they came out. What year was Phantom Menace?
2099.
99. Christ.
Yeah.
Christ, yes, I would have been
it's
5.
irritating. I would have only been about 2 then. And there's so many good fit. Well,
that's crazy.
Phantom Menace is obviously questionable. I think if you actually look at it,
it's definitely got some very good scenes at the very least.
Compare it to the latest films, like scene-wise, it's definitely a winner.
It's one of those things where
politics.
like people complain about the prequel trilogy quite a lot, but they have. I mean, obviously, the original trilogy will always hold close to me because I grew up watching that with my dad when I was a kid, and it's always kind of close to me. But the prequel trilogy was some of the first movies that I fully got invested in when I was a kid, because I think I went to see Episode 1 like 5 times in the cinemas, like literally like a week, 1 week after 1 week, just constantly went back to watch it just because we enjoyed it so much, and I think we all agree. Best lightsaber fight and music score together all in one of that movie will be the Duel of the Fates, Darth Maul, Qui-Gon and Obi-Wan. By far best fight of all the movies.
Yeah. We were talking about this the other day, and I was saying that I prefer the final duel in between Anakin and Obi-Wan. But I actually went back and I watched the Phantom Menace, the Attack of the Clones, and the Revenge of the Sith all over again the other week.
So good.
And I must admit, the lightsaber fight, I think there's just something about it. There's just the dynamic and just the way it went down is so good. For me,
it's the way Qui-Gon and Obi-Wan. You can tell the thing that I like about Qui-Gon and Obi-Wan in that first movie is they don't give you the exposition of how long they've worked together. They show you through the way they work together and fight together. When they say they're going to do something, they don't question each other because they trust each other like irreversibly. Like they will always trust each other because they got that bond. And then when you're watching them fight, they are able to instantly start a fight, go into it without even saying who's doing what because they know and
work together.
Yeah, you even see bits like when they're on the walkways. Obi-Wan fakes out for Qui-Gon to jump in, and then Obi flanks around, and they don't say anything. They don't even look at each other. They're just so in tune, and that's some of the things I love from that movie.
I think when it comes down to battles, it's got to be that's my number one. Well, I'd probably say that in the final duel between Anakin and Obi-Wan's definitely they're both number one for me.
Anakin Obi-Wan is number 2 for me because one, the sheer emotion of it, like the fight that they've got.
Yeah.
And I'm sure as well, I can't remember off the top of my head, but I'm sure the composition that they use throughout their fight pulls in bits from episode 1, episode 2, and episode 3, and then also the darker Anakin goes. I'm sure it also uses some of Darth Vader's theme as well, which I love when compositions do that for like big moments. So Metal Gear Solid did that for Metal Gear Solid 4, the final fight. You do the fist fight using all the different music, and that's cool. But I also love it. Did you have you ever seen the behind the scenes of the fight between Obi and Anakin and how they actually did that at full speed? That was them doing it at full speed.
I wouldn't know. The amount of lightsabers they went through and broke was just insane.
They literally Oh, go on, Ollie. Sorry.
I was going to say one specific part of that fight. I can remember thinking about it is I swear there's a bit where they're basically just both stood there facing each other and just both swinging wildly.
Yep.
It just looks like they're hacking at each other, but like it's almost like symmetrical fighting, but really hard. So I can tell just from that, I can believe that they must have gone through so many of the fucking like prop lightsabers to do the fight.
I think when I watched it on the behind the scenes, they would just basically say, they'd do like a take, and then they'd have to give the prop off to the prop makers who were on site for them to fix the lightsabers and get them ready for the next concurrent takes, because they literally said, I think, like after each take, unless it was a short take, after each like take, because they do it in long sections because they knew pretty much the whole thing by heart. After each take, it would be and they'd have to hand it off, get it fixed, bring it back. Because obviously, if it's bent, then it can cause issues for the CGI guys. Because obviously, the lightsabers were all completely CGI.
Yeah,
the main tool was just used as like their guide for when they were doing stuff like that.
I wonder how many bruises they had. I wonder how many bruises they had after those fights.
They must have hit each other quite a few times.
I think with that leading back into the streaming. I think with the fact that that's something we saw in the golden ages, such of
cinema.
Of Jedi.
Jedi.
So in the Star Wars story.
Yeah.
So obviously we're going to be getting a Obi-Wan Kenobi, and that's going to be in between the time where he finishes off Revenge of the Sith and A New Hope.
Yeah.
So it's going to be all that time. Obviously, we're getting Ewan McGregor back, which I think nobody can complain about.
I fucking love Ewan McGregor.
Yeah, that'll be great. Good for continuity as well, to be honest. Just like a lot of the time when these kind of shows get made where like, oh, it's X character but younger, there's often a recast, and that's not a bad thing. Like a lot of the time there's sometimes a surprising choice and then it turns out they're really good. But it's like at the same time, it's really cool that they've got the person who's consistent. Well, apart from obviously in the original trilogy, but like at that point, the age difference, it's kind of allowed, but it's really cool that they've got him.
The thing is, the way they've done it is they picked him, and he actually looks. You actually look at the side by side images of him and Alec Guinness. It's uncanny sometimes.
Alec McGuinness
looks so similar.
Yeah, when he was younger, Alec McGuinness did look quite dashing to the same of like Ewan McGregor. I mean, and
I think.
Sorry, go on, Ryan.
I think that's where they've looked out with these films, is because the way, obviously, they filmed them, they did 5, 6, 7. No, wait. 4, 5, 6.
No, 4, 5, 6. 4, 5, 6.
Because they did 4, 5, 6 first, even though it's like to anybody normal, it just seems completely bizarre. But the fact that they filmed them in that order, and then they went back to before then, is given them, they've looked out on that, because then obviously they don't need to get a younger Obi-Wan, because it was already a younger Obi-Wan they'd cast, and fortunate for them, they were able to cast someone who was perfect. And I think with these two things is like, there's a lot of more iconic characters now from the prequels. Now we've got to the sequels that people are noticing. So, and there's a lot more iconic moments. So obviously before, everyone would quote the old Star Wars quotes, like, I don't know any of them because it wasn't really my set of films.
I've got a bad feeling about this.
Yeah, stuff like that. But
it's all about Han Solo's. I love you. I know.
Yeah, I know.
I know.
But then now we've got shit like "Hello there" and stuff like that.
No, don't you dare knock on that. Hello there.
So uncivilized.
Man. Honestly, some of the quotes of the decade, definitely.
And most of them are Ewan.
I was gonna say that GIF of Ewan McGregor from when they drop into like the kind of speeder car thing, and he's just kind of like dancing around in the car. I love that gif so much.
Have you seen it where somebody's, because it's a green screen, they've got like the footage where he's doing that, and they've just edited him onto the whole film, like the whole series of films. So he's there, and then there's him burning below him. He's like,
there's a good one someone did with that where it's him dancing around, and they've just put him like in the background of the pod race.
now this is pod racing. See, iconic. Iconic.
I realise we're going into we're just discussing memes now, but have you seen the one where they've dubbed Anakin from episode 1 into episode 3, where it's like, I'll do a flip, that's a cool trick, don't try it, yippee!
I've seen that one.
I need to watch that. I'm gonna have to find that.
There's some great memes from that stuff, like just because of the child Anakin, like the amount of I think they dubbed him over the entirety of the third one, didn't they, at one point?
He went dubbed him over Darth Vader.
Yeah, I've seen that.
I think we need to think about it though. With that kid, he actually got bullied for that role. Like he went to school afterwards after playing that role, and he got bullied. Like he's like I think he's in a psychiatrist. Like he's in a mental hospital now.
I'm gonna Google this.
Yeah,
I was gonna say I seem to recall seeing him on like just some article of like child stars now they've grown up, and he still looks the same. He just looks like that kid, but well, obviously he is that kid, but older. But like his facial features are really the same. Like he's got kind of like sort of squashed features a little bit.
Definitely,
if that makes sense. He's got quite a wide face, and he still does.
I was watching this thing, and it was like he basically comes out. He's like, some of the stuff I had to deal with, and I think he just lost it at one point. And you can't blame him. It's so bad because even the guy who played Jar Jar Binks, he got death threats, and it's like.
Rightly so.
It's not his fault. He didn't write the character. He didn't write the thing, isn't it? It's like you can't.
People get too wrapped up. I remember just speaking of child stars as well. I remember hearing it. I think it might be on the radio or TV. It was years and years. The kid that played Draco Malfoy in the Harry Potter films, like kids used to just like cry when they'd see him. Like that must be difficult playing the bad guy. Like. Because people just hate you. I'm
trying to think of his name.
I've just found the Wikipedia article for his name is Jake Lloyd, the original Anakin Skywalker. So it wasn't that he went to a psychiatric facility for the bullying and things like that. Turns out he was arrested in South Carolina under the name of Jake Broadbent for reckless driving, driving without a license, and resisting arrest. He failed to stop for a red light when she initiated a high-speed chase. His bail was $10,700, and he was released on bail. And then in April 2016, after being kept for 10 months without trial in Colleton County Detention Center, Lloyd was transferred from jail to a psychiatric facility. Schizophrenia was the given reason.
I don't think what he went through as a kid helped.
Was you waiting to say now this is pod racing that entire time on it?
Well, I mean, like, I was thinking about it with like the car chase. It's like, and then he went to I think it was schizophrenia. It's like, but was it pod racing?
Maybe that's why they were
like, feel bad. Like
maybe that's why they got a bit sus because they were there chasing him and he's just hanging his head out the window screaming, "This is pod racing."
He keeps like pushing his hand at them like this, hoping that the car will just like stop or something.
Yeah.
He should have pulled a Sebulba and pulled some little piece of like engine and just thrown it in the car, and it would have blown up, and he could have gotten away.
It would have gone in the air intake. It would have gone straight through the pistons. That's it. Job done.
Exactly.
I think get a bit back on more on track here, though. What we were talking about was obviously streaming services.
Were
we?
Yeah. What we've got to look forward to, especially now, is we've got the new Obi-Wan series. We've just had The Mandalorian come out, like we were originally talking about, it's definitely rekindled my love for Star Wars. I mean, I watched it. I'd watched the first Force Awakens, and like many people, or at least a fair few, I just sort of.
I thought it was okay.
Yeah, don't get me wrong, it wasn't a bad film. The actors were.
I wasn't blown away, but it was all right. It was all right.
I think I was of the class that I really enjoyed it. I mean, yeah, there were some dodgy moments, but that was the same with episode 1 for me. There were dodgy moments in that, but I think it's one of those things where, like, even though there's bad Star Wars movies, I still really love the
Star Wars,
movies. I still really enjoy watching them.
Yeah.
I understand the negatives.
Yeah.
I'm not going to stand and have a debate with someone about the technicality of the movie and how it's made and how it's written and say they're perfect, because they are not. But you could put any of the Star Wars movies on in front of me and I would happily sit and watch them all the way through with no issues.
I couldn't say any. I mean, like,
Not episode 8. God, that was a fucking dumpster fire.
I think it was good. It had potential. Yeah, it just felt a bit samey, like it felt like they were doing. But to be honest, I think it's been such a long time since we'd released a Star Wars film to be doing it again. They were a bit more, and they're not George Lucas either. So they're like, oh,
well, I think
JJ
we've talked about
did a
this.
good job.
Yeah, I think we've talked about this before. Where I don't think it was George Lucas that brought the magic; it was the actors that brought the magic. You had Mark Hamill, Harrison Ford, Carrie Fisher. They were all very distinctive actors. They all knew how to play their characters because they would really read into the characters. Yeah, they were the ones that were saying to George Lucas and the script writers and the writers of the stories, like, we don't think the character would react this way. Like Han Solo originally, I think in the original cut, was meant to get shot at by Guido and then get shot back. I could be wrong. I remember reading that. And then Han Solo was like, Harrison was like, but he's a scoundrel who fights money. He would have always shot first. And we're not talking about the stupid fucking CGI changes that were made. Han shot first.
There were like 3 different iterations of that one CGI thing as well.
The best one is when his neck does this.
Yeah, his head just kind of like elongates off his neck. It looks like a physics glitch in a game or something where like the ragdoll's gone wrong.
Yeah,
I think what you've got to think though is there's not many directors which would do that. I don't think there's many who would allow them to have such an impact with the characters. And I think George Lucas is very misunderstood with the way he puts stuff across. But let's try and keep on track here. We keep just starting to talk about Star Wars now. We'll just call this the Star Wars.
There's a lot to talk about.
Oh, there is a lot to talk about.
Yeah, so then I watched Last Jedi the other week.
I haven't seen it yet. So I haven't seen it.
The Last Jedi negates an episode of the podcast in entirety, in my opinion, because
we'll do a Star Wars one at some point. We'll just sit here and we'll talk about the whole Star Wars.
And then we're all caught up. Kyle's caught up on Mandalorian. I need to still watch episode 9, and then we're Gucci.
I want to rewatch those anyway. So
I'm feeling I'm going to be sitting through and watching all of them in like just a bit of a marathon again.
Yeah,
but yeah, I think especially now they've got some people actually know what they're doing, making TV series for them. I mean,
the TV shows are just
it wouldn't surprise me if they go, "Yo, Kevin Feige, you want to do some movies for us as well?"
Well, they've got what's his name? You know, the guy who did Thor Ragnarok,
Taika Waititi.
Taika Waititi.
He's doing one of the films.
That would be good.
Oh, really?
Because he's very good at mixing the dark humor with the lightheartedness without it like clashing. But I think that's going to the whole streaming thing. I think that's been one of the best things, especially with most of us being trapped in. Is, let's face it, a lot of us have access to multiple streaming services. I don't actually pay for. I don't watch live TV at all. So I have literally Netflix. I have Disney. I have Prime. So I've got the same issue that people used to have, where there's 1,000 channels and nothing to watch. Whereas now I go on something, it's like there's just so much to fucking watch, and I don't know what. But I have been more going to Disney Plus because I'm watching through all Marvel as well. And seeing it's great with all these services where I can see movies that I wouldn't necessarily want to watch in cinema, and actually put some time in and watch them. I'm trying to remember. There was Extraction on Netflix, which is fucking great because it's literally John Wick, but Chris Hemsworth slaps a child and says "piss off." It was brilliant.
I saw somebody like mention that on a video the other day, and I was like, I might watch that. It looks quite good.
There's a brilliant scene in that where there's this one really long take. Obviously, if you watch a lot of movies and you know how they do the cutting, you will be able to see, that's where they've probably cut it for that scene. But it all plays out like one long take. It's like 15 minutes long, or so. It feels really long. But I always end up going back to that bit where Chris Hemsworth slaps this kid. It's so fucking funny because, like, it's just the middle of the night. This kid comes up, something happens. I don't want to spoil the story, but he literally just goes, bang, piss off straight round this kid's face, and I had to pause the video. I had to pause the movie. I was laughing so hard.
Yeah,
I said,
you go ahead.
go ahead, Ron.
No, you go.
I was just going to say, going back to Taika Waititi, I watched that Jojo Rabbit recently. I don't think I've seen a bad Taika Waititi film. There was one I watched, and I can't for the life of me remember what it's called.
The vampire.
Which one, sorry?
Is it the vampire one?
No.
I didn't even realise it was
like,
him. And that had me
it's about a kid that gets lost in like the wilderness with some guy, and I cannot remember what it was called.
See, I think I've only watched. Yeah, I think I've only watched the one movie from him, which was Thor Ragnarok. I don't think I've ever actually watched any other movie from him, but I do love Ragnarok. I just love his voice acting for
Ragnarok's very good.
I love his voice acting with
He's very funny.
My name's Korg, or whatever his name is.
My name's Korg. We're going to get on that spaceship. Want to come?
Yeah. He's really funny in JoJo as well.
Yeah, he's the voice for the robot.
Yeah.
In what's it called? Mandalorian. You know, the IG unit.
Yeah,
He's the voice.
He's the voice of that. Yeah, it's cool. But I love the. He's like, he's got knife hands. It seems to me you had a very close and intimate relationship with this hammer.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've only actually watched.
Mandalorian?
Yeah, he's the IG unit, the one that becomes the nanny. You know the bounty hunter robot that turns into the nanny?
Bounty hunter, the IG unit, you know, like the big, it's basically got the really long...
Oh, wait, so... No, I know the one you mean, but was it Taika Waititi and then it was...
Richard Ayoade did
that. Richard Ayoade did a different robot.
Remade one. Oh, was it a different robot that was...
Yeah, Richard Ayoade did Zero from The Prisoner Escape.
No, yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember now. But what I was just going to say with Taika Waititi, like in Jojo Rabbit, like he plays Hitler, but Hitler in the form of this one kid's. It basically, like, I won't spoil the story, but the idea is just this kid's obsessed with Hitler and the Nazi Party, so his imaginary friend is Hitler. But Taika Waititi is Hitler, and he makes I would say he makes about 5% effort to put a German accent on, and the rest is just his Kiwi accent, and it's absolutely amazing. But like,
that's the best part though, because it's just such a disrespect to Hitler, and it's like,
yeah,
wouldn't want to do that.
To be honest, all the characters in that film, a lot of them are clearly. I looked up some of them. There's a girl in it that's from New Zealand. You wouldn't know she was. To be fair, she did quite a good job of doing a kind of accent. The kid kind of speaks with. I think the kid might have been Kiwi as well, but like. I watched it on Prime. I don't think it's streaming yet. It was I had to buy it, but I highly recommend it. That was funny, but again, with it being Taika Waititi, it was mostly pretty funny, and then there were like some kind of dark, serious moments in it, and it was really good. I highly recommend it.
There is one thing that I have just found out about Taika Waititi that is a blemish on his track record. He directed 5 episodes of the American show The In-Betweeners, which was a rip-off of the UK show of the same name, which was already trash before it was then Americanified. So that...
I'll have to argue with you on that one. Like, don't get me wrong, I don't know In-Betweeners now. I can't go back and watch that because it's just incredible.
The way I saw it was,
but as a kid, when I was that age, it was funny.
The first series, when you're that age, was good. The rest of it just became shock factor and stupidity. There was no creativity in the writing. There was no creativity in the comedian effect. It was literally just something stupid happens, and now he's going to do something stupid. Because it's the reason why I can't watch.
Like,
have you ever watched? Oh, what's it? There's the guys who wrote Seinfeld and Curb Your Enthusiasm. Have you ever watched a show called Curb Your Enthusiasm?
I've never watched it. I know of it.
So, an ex of mine fucking loved Curb Your Enthusiasm. And I was like, okay, I'll try it out because apparently it's by one of the greatest comedic writers who did like Seinfeld and things like that. So I was watching it, and there's some funny moments, but it's just most of the humor in that series is just... Surely he's not going to do this really, really stupid thing that any person with one fucking IQ would know not to do. Oh, look, he's gone and done it. And that's where all the humour comes from.
Oh, it's so silly.
Yeah, I don't like it when humour is derived from someone doing a stupid decision. I like humour when it's derived from actual smart responses to people doing something stupid or just smartly written humour.
Not lashing at, like, not jumping out at Americans, but that is very much their comedy as well.
Yeah.
I think that's
very
that's where
obvious.
it's coming from.
Big Bang Theory.
I mean, you don't like
Bazinga.
American. Oh, just, yeah. American. Like, you don't see as many American stand-ups. I mean, I don't think you. I've never really asked.
I've seen some good ones, actually.
There are
I
some
have
good
seen
ones, yeah.
some good ones.
They're
Dave
good.
Chappelle, actually. Dave Chappelle.
Oh, yes.
Fucking fun.
Just sprinkle some crack on him and we'll be done with it.
If you look at like
good.
if you look at the golden age
Yeah.
of UK comedians, I mean, we've had, like, I know he's not everyone's cup of tea, but you've got Peter Kay, you've got Frankie Boyle, you've got Mickey Flanagan.
Right, it just the list goes on.
Yeah,
really.
you can reel the list
going
further.
with people who are amazing stand-up comedians, and even if you don't like their comedy, they are clearly successful. Like Peter Kay's the biggest, like, he's probably one of the biggest comedians ever.
Yeah, I think the thing I disliked I actually, with Peter Kay, his writing, like for his shows and stuff, I did actually quite enjoy. When he's given the time to really sit down and write out a funny show, he does it well. But when he does stand up, it's just one of those ones where it's like, nah, this is just humour that I've probably already I feel like I've heard before.
It's fine, isn't it? That's what it is.
But going to American comedians, there's one that I found recently that I'm just trying to find the name of for you guys, because
is the guy who did the Russian story?
No. He's another one. He cracked me up. He made that joke of the machine became like an in joke with all of my like friends I used to hang out with. That's how much that had an impact.
Oh, the machine.
The machine. Yes.
The machine.
Yes.
Yeah,
wait. So we hear you're the machine. You party with us tonight. Fuck that bitch.
Yeah, I love that. That's
the one I'm trying to think of is a guy called Brad Williams. He's dwarf. He's got dwarfism. So like all of his shows are called things like Fun Size and things like that. But he's probably one of the funniest comedians I've seen from America in recent times. And I was sitting just on YouTube, just watching clips of some of his shows. I was pissing myself with laughter, and a lot of American comedians can't do that for me, but that just really had me. Like, there was one bit where he's on about he's taking the piss out of how guys don't know how to pull girls' hair when they're having sex, and he just goes full on in detail. Like, so what you need to do, you need to get the back of the neck, crawl up and get a handful, and then squeeze. Don't just fucking pull on the ends like a fucking horse. And he goes in, and he goes like in detail. Like, see, I've got a fucking standing position here. Unlike you guys, where you're on your knees and you see the guy like start putting his leg up, and the girl's like, "Oh, he's changing position." No, he's not. He's just fucking tired. I can just stand and pump, and I can fucking go forever.
I think, like with comedians, I think that's something that is missing. Is we've got streaming services, so you've got obviously Disney Plus is for all the Disney owned franchises. You go to Crunchyroll, Funimation, and there's a few others for your anime. Amazon Prime's got quite a good.
It's getting better for sure.
The great thing about Amazon Prime that I like, and some people dislike this, but they've got some decent choice, and they've got some of the more obscure things that you can't find on like Netflix and other things. But the thing I do like is, even if they don't have it available, a lot of the time they still have it available for rent or to buy.
Yeah.
Because that's what I did with Into the Spider-Verse. I couldn't get it anywhere, and I couldn't get a physical copy because they weren't printing them, and it was on Amazon Prime 4K HDR for £10. So I was like, I'm not going to grumble at that.
Yeah.
There is one problem with Amazon Prime, and I'd say that's the viewability. I think the user interface.
It's terrible.
The Amazon Prime system is awful because it's just running through Amazon still.
Yeah.
And really,
it's a shopping site ultimately, isn't it?
Yeah, they need to work on something like.
Do you guys
Netflix.
use it? Do you guys use it through a browser or through like a TV or anything?
Browser.
Both.
You can get it on TV.
So
because we only recently got a smart TV. So
I've used it through a browser. I've used it through my PlayStation, and at my work address I have a Fire Stick as well. And the interface is definitely better on like a PlayStation or their Fire Stick, but it is still like at least like a generation or two behind Netflix, and that's the thing I like Disney Plus has obviously done, is they've obviously gone and looked at things like Netflix and like Prime and just taken the best of both, because there are some good things that Prime does. And I tend to find the recommendations on Prime are better than what Netflix recommends. I'm not sure why, if that's my own personal happenings, but whenever I watch something on Netflix, say I've watched, I think it was when I was watching Neon Genesis, and it was like, oh, you may like this, and it was...
Seven Deadly Sins. That's like, it tells everyone. 7 Deadly Sins. I'm like, no, I don't want to watch that.
It gave me 7 Deadly Sins, and then it gave me that, what was it, Neo Yokio, that shitty one that Will Smith's son was in. It's like, it was like, I'm sorry, but that's you've got Neon Genesis, which is a massive existential,
a masterpiece.
Yeah, a masterpiece of existential dread. And then Neo Yokio. They are fucking nothing alike. Why is this being recommended to me? You've got Madoka Magica on Netflix now. Why is that not recommended?
It's just because it's
Carl, how can mirrors be real if our eyes aren't real?
I think there's positives and negatives to all of them, because I find sometimes when I'm running on Netflix, you can find yourself just stuck in a loop where you're just looking at the same thing. So it'll go, you're recommended, and I'll go, oh, this is all just the same as the anime recommendations it's given me.
Yeah, I feel like it doesn't get a lot of new stuff lately as well.
They have slowed down.
It's ridiculous, isn't it? Though?
Yeah, I've got a feeling it's being more difficult for them license-wise. That's why I think they're pumping more into their original stuff. The thing with the how you're saying I can get stuck in a loop, I just don't understand why they have multiple ways of saying recommendations for you, because they have recommendations for you, top picks for you, top picks like this
suggested for you.
And so,
same thing.
It's like, look, just go recommended in this category. Recommended in this category. Go, because I watch on Netflix, I've watched The Witcher, I watch anime, and I watch action movies. That's predominantly what I watch on Netflix at the minute, because I'm not watching it a lot. So just have a recommended thing where it goes, recommended in action movies. Oh, look, there's fucking London Has Fallen and all those kind of action movies. And recommended in anime, 7 Deadly Sins, because it's always there. And then recommended... Oh, and obviously I also like to watch the documentary stuff about like murder mysteries and things like that, and then Madam Can. So just give me recommended based on categories, and that would work really well, I think. And Ryan's obviously had a bit of an emergency, so we'll continue as we are. Do you use? I'm guessing you use Disney Plus as well, Ollie, or are you just still?
To be honest, because I was kind of annoyed with Mandalorian when they just completely withheld it from the UK, so I just streamed it. Because I don't know, I just thought that was really shitty of them to just withhold it from us for such a long. If it was like, I don't know, maybe a week, I kind of could have tolerated it, but it was a long time. I mean,
I've got a feeling
I can't even when I watched Mandalorian.
It was easily a month, but I think the reason why it was withheld for so long.
It was a bit more than that, I think.
Yeah, I think the reason why it was withheld for so long is because Disney knew the beast they had. Disney knew how big their platform was going to be, because it's not just Star Wars fans, it's not just Disney Princess fans, it wasn't just Marvel fans. And when you think about it, think of like 3 of the biggest movie products over the past like couple of years. You have Disney, with their movies like Lion King,
Marvel stuff,
Aladdin, all the Marvel stuff, and all the Star Wars stuff. That pretty much encompasses
the Pixar stuff as well.
The Pixar stuff, that pretty much encompasses everyone. So they had to do their knowledge based off of everyone is going to have this streaming service. So they had to put it out in certain areas first before unveiling it elsewhere. And they also did the smart thing when they did release it for everyone else. I saw it was it's going to be this day at midnight, and it was like, well, but they didn't put like GMT or PMT. It was just midnight. So that way, then it could be a rolling release for everyone going forward.
Yeah.
Although we did get delayed by about an hour. Yeah, we got delayed by about an hour.
You were the only
Yeah,
person.
yeah.
You were the only person who was up and awake to see that.
I had to wait till 1 o'clock. Disney, where the fuck's my refund? I pre-ordered this.
What's scary about that though is the fact that Disney owns so many franchises now.
That's
in the
another thing.
entertainment series.
Yeah, it's getting
feels
a bit
like
monopoly.
I mean, what if Star Wars was still Lucasfilm? We could have had a completely different set of new films if they did come out, because there were actually plans that George Lucas gave to them, but they didn't use. That's what I.
They're beginning to feel like TV, Facebook / Google in that whole kind of conglomerate. They're feeling like this all-encompassing company that are just kind of picking up everything. I don't mind as long as they're making good content. I ultimately don't really care, but it's like it's kind of you're slowly losing some diversity, I think, and it's
you should care though, because there's laws to stop this, and it just seems to be happening, and nobody's really saying anything because they've basically got Fox, obviously Fox,
everything.
Marvel, and they've got that. It's just like this is ridiculous how much they actually own, and nobody's saying anything, and it is very scary because we could get to a point where the only content you actually get is Disney. And then
that's it.
You have Disney. Are you going to get any proper action films anymore? No, you're not.
I think one of the things that worries me is how somehow Disney are able to change copyright laws. So there's a copyright law. I've just been trying to find the name of this copyright law that I can't find, but it works across a lot of mediums like music, movie, and things like that. And I think it goes based off like. Again, I don't have the official thing in front of me, so might not get the right numbers, but I'm sure it's along the lines of so I'm sure it's along the lines of after an IP has been created, 50 years after that IP is created or song has been created, it moves into fair use. So people are allowed to pick it up and reappropriate it. That's why you're able to get covers of like Elvis songs, and they don't have to pay the Elvis estate because it's now in fair use. I think you can do something like to maybe pay the copyright to be extra or something, but I'm not 100% sure on that. But I remember, but I remember reading somewhere or watching a video somewhere on YouTube where they're on about how all of the Disney characters that were originally made were coming up for fair use, like Mickey Mouse, like Donald Duck, like Goofy. And basically, Disney, in their big evil suits, went to like state or law or something, and basically made them go, "No, we're not allowing our characters to be fair use because we don't want people using them in their own stuff, which could deface our name." So they've somehow skirted that law, and their stuff is not allowed to be used in fair use. It's something I'll have to look into a bit more to talk about.
Is artists actually do, like, if they do Disney art and they work for Disney, they can actually, like, all their art, the work they do whilst they work for Disney is owned by Disney.
That's normally in any companies, though. That's normally in any company.
But that's why a bunch of them just do porn in their free time. So Disney is just going to have, like, these mountains and mountains of fucking porn that people have drawn, like hentai style stuff for Disney characters. They own that shit. That's Disney.
And I bet you I bet you the way they archive stuff as well, it won't get deleted because they'll have it all backed up on multiple places.
What if we get to a point in society where that's acceptable and they're like, "Yo, we could monetize this shit and we could send this out, boys. We could send this out."
Oh, go on, Ollie. Sorry.
I was going to say, you say it sounds like a ridiculous future now, but then the future we're living in right now, if you told me 10 years ago, I would not have believed you. Who knows?
You remember?
Give it 5-10 years. That's possible.
Any of you guys seen the Merchant from Resident Evil 4?
No, I'm not.
It's the meme of the guy. What are you buying? That is literally going to be some guy who works at Disney out the back door with all of those images. What are you buying? And he's just going to show you all the images.
I think, honestly, for myself, like, I don't like Disney at all. I'll put that out there. I don't.
It's that whole big evil corporation. It's the same with like EA.
It's about money.
Yeah, it's EA. Sony, when it comes to like music copyright and the way
Oh, they're militant. They are ridiculous on that stuff.
they are ridiculous.
Can you remember this?
The whole
What's his name? Where it's just Sony all over it, and you're like, ugh.
Oh, is that the Venom movie by any
Yeah.
chance?
No. It was the. I've not watched Venom.
I've not yet either.
I haven't either.
It was the last one with Andrew
Process me, really.
Garfield in it.
What was that? Sorry, Ryan?
It was the last one with Andrew Garfield in it, where it was
Oh, the
Electro
Amazing
and-
Spider-Man. Yeah.
Yeah, where like his dad's there, like you see his dad in a flashback. Oh look, he's got a Sony computer. Nobody uses Sony computers.
No, the biggest
You use the Sony computer, slap them.
the biggest issue with those two movies wasn't the product placement for me. It wasn't anything else. He used fucking Bing as a search engine. No one fucking uses Bing as a search engine.
It makes me sick.
Yeah.
It's like, have you seen?
Who do use it at work? You just sit there and you go.
No.
know.
Have you seen the There's the college humor videos, which is if Google was a guy, and at the end of one of them, it's Bing, and he's just there in like a Zen office, and there's no cue to his door. It's like, come on in, guys. We're ready to help you whenever you want.
Yeah,
See,
I love those videos.
Somebody who's kind of like Google, they have basically just completely. I know they're not buying everything up, but they've just completely dominated the search engine.
They bought a lot. And what they've got YouTube. I think they own a lot of Facebook, or rather, they're all kind of intertwined now, I think. Would I be right in saying that?
I'm not 100%
I want to
sure
say
on that.
Google and Facebook have. It's not on the same level as like Google and YouTube, because obviously, that's full integration.
Yeah.
Okay, here we go, guys. So, Google owns. So I think that the actual company name is Alphabet Inc. It was originally founded as a search engine company in 1998 under the name Google Inc. Most popular search engine, blah blah blah. They own Nest, which is the smart home products. This is one thing that really fucking annoys me. So they own DoubleClick, which is the ad management and ad servicing solutions, which is what YouTube uses. Yet they're always causing massive ad problems. It's like, you own the fucking advertisement company. Looker.
YouTube is a mess.
Yeah.
Again, it's just another company who are just out there for money.
Yeah.
I mean, the CEO and the head of business can come out as many times as they like and spout some bullshit about how they actually care about the content creators. But we all know they're getting some fat stack in their wallet and they don't care.
Yeah.
And frankly,
it's so transparent as well.
It's like, just stop. Everyone knows you're bullshitting us.
I'd much more prefer it if the CEO just came out and went, I don't fucking care about you guys. I'm just making money. I don't give a shit. The product's cool and all, but as long as I get paid, I don't care. I'd prefer it if the CEO came out and was honest.
This is a plastic chair and it's really hard and like horrible to sit on. But with the amount of money I earn from fucking you lot over, I can make a perfectly nice cushion out of money. They're just there placing down stacks of dollar notes. Just like, oh, this is really comfy, guys.
All right, well, we're coming up to near closing time, so I know we said before this we wanted to talk about the, just to finish off on, we want to talk about the silliness and hilarity that is ensuing based off of quarantine hairstyles, quarantine haircuts, and quarantine beards. Yeah. So I think I'm one of the lucky ones because of the way my hair is. I can just shave all of this and not have to worry. This is a mess, but I can just shave this and I'm done. I don't have to worry about it. But I don't know how you guys are handling it. So
I'm okay. I have had a quarantine haircut from Danny. I think she did a pretty good job. I can't remember when we did it. I think it was like, I don't know, maybe it's probably kind of like 3-4 weeks ago now, and it's looking okay. It's getting a little messy, but like it's all right. I'm not thinking shit. I need a haircut.
Please tell me at one point. Please tell me at one point during her haircut, she was like behind doing like any like trimmers stuff and just went, shit, just to scare you.
She didn't. No, she didn't. I trusted her, and to be honest, I think she was so focused on doing it right, she wasn't in the frame of mind to make a joke. So I think she was equal parts terrified to do it and kind of excited. Like she did loads of research, watched YouTube videos, and like all the right things to do, and she actually did a really good job, to be fair. And I think I'm looking all right, and my beard's doing fine anyway. In fact, my beard's looking better than it has for quite a while actually, because I have a terrible, terrible habit of pulling my beard hair out, and I get bald spots here outside my chin. And since this whole thing with the lockdown, I don't know why, just haven't been doing it, and my beard's like looking fuller than ever. So I'm not complaining.
What about you, Ryan? How's yours going?
I've got very fine hair, so it's getting long now, so it's starting to push it. But I'm going to keep holding on.
Is the bald patch still there?
It's not looking too long.
Oh, it's still there. It's still there. You don't need to nobody needs to remind me of that.
Wait, what's still there?
At some point, it will just all be coming off. It will all be coming off. It's not. See, it's not a bald patch. It's just I've got very fine hair. So
yeah, so
it's awful when it's very long. Obviously, at the moment, I'm just I just get away with it, but it will get to a point where it's going to have to come off at some point. Hoping.
I think you should just do what some of the people I've seen do, where they just literally get the clippers and just go. Vroom.
I did that to my dad. My dad's like, I need my haircut, and we just went to him, and we were just doing that. It was great.
You can do it like the stupid ASMR videos you see, where for some reason the barber speaks very closely to your ear, like I'm gonna cut your hair for you now.
I'm going to cut the hair behind your left ear.
It's so like, why?
Oh, shit!
Oh shit, I just hit my mic.
Someone should do that, actually. Someone needs to make a haircut ASMR video, but in the middle of it, totally spoil it. Just like oh, fuck.
Oh, God, the clippers cut you. Oh, shit, there's so much blood. Oh, God, what do I do?
Mum always said that was a failure.
It's that meme where it's like, try to roll the sushi. Turn the sushi into a mess. Like your fucking life.
For me though, like hair experiences during the lockdown has just been me going for like this mad mustache / beard. I mean,
it's working,
I had the beard.
I'm digging the strongman look.
I had the beard, and I was like, part of me was like, I was messaging my friends. I'm going, do I just shave it all off? And they were like, don't fucking do that, because there are some images of me without a beard, and it's not a sight. It's cursed images. That's like you go to Google and you go to the second page, and that's what you find is me without a beard, and you're like, fuck.
That's the weird thing with that's the weird thing with my hair. Someone at the beginning of the podcast said I have an egghead. It's like, yes, I do. This is why I don't shave this bit, because I have a very, very egg-shaped head, and I don't want that to happen. This is why I always need some hair here.
Yeah, if to be fair, I look about 40. Well, probably not 40 because my face is getting a bit wrinkly with age now. But like, I look maybe late teens if I shave my beard off, and it's not a good time.
Like 30.
Shaving beard off it's a no go for me. I look like,
and my height.
I don't know where I look now.
I'm trying to keep at the Viking aesthetic, so I have to keep this.
You're off it, man.
Absolutely, you're always going to win on that.
Attire. I need to make some Viking shit, man, because my next tattoo is going to be sort of Nordic style. So, like, I'm riding the Nordic wave at the moment.
Is there any, like, can we think of any strongman style tattoos I could go and get?
Just a fucking
I need to get back in the gym first. Just get an anchor.
Anchor.
Get an anchor and a leopard print, like,
just
bodysuit.
A love heart, more than an arrow
in a heart. That's it. That's
what you need to do as well is you need to have the love heart, and then have just a random name, and then cross that one out, and then have another random name, and then cross that one out. So that way, then it just looks like it's girlfriends that you're just crossing out over time.
Jesus Christ!
I think,
people have called me out on that one because they know it's not true because I'm single as fuck.
Well, I think what we'll have to do then, we'll close off the podcast for now. We've been at this for about an hour. So, as you may have seen, if you've been watching, we do now have a email for the Context Needed podcast. So, if there's any subject matter you would like us to talk about, any interesting stories from history,
any questions
you want to send our way, please do at the Context. I'll say it correctly so that people can get this. It's contextneededpodcast@gmail.com. All of us have access to the email, so we'll be able to see any email that comes through there. So if you're going to send dick pics, warn us beforehand, and I'll make sure Ryan looks at them first.
I will be leaking them.
Well,
Just a heads up.
But anyway, so from
they will go into collection.
yeah. But anyway, so from me and the other guys, we will see you again. We're gonna do this again on Saturday at 9 p.m. GMT. So please get any of the questions or suggestions in, and thank you guys for listening.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you, guys. See you next time.
Berserk now. That's it. That's all I've got to say. Cut stream.
See you later, guys.